Previously on Elysia Rising.
Even as far as the Duskland Ivory border, it seems that these large vines have caught the attention of everyone you pass.
What is it? What?
There's no need for weaponry, man. We already have heard how you're the most dangerous criminal in the city. Something to do with your tunneling expeditions underneath the prison?
I hear troubling whispers from Rookridge. May he find peace in the ever after.
That's your domain more than mine.
You see her eyes kind of glance past you, looking out the front door at this kind of cage over Bell Tower. If you feel any sense of companionship to others of your affliction, I would suggest that you displace them, much as you did a certain Mustovan.
Well, that wasn't ominous at all.
Welcome to Elysia, the jewel of the north. On our gilded streets, fortune and fame can be found by anyone.
Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm playing Magpie, an ace of our lurk.
Hi, I'm Nate, and I'm playing Khavren, a dragon-scent slide.
Hi, I'm Meg. I'm playing Frieda, a wolfkin cutter.
Hi, I'm JC, and I'll be playing Algernon, an ace of our spider.
Hello, I'm Errol. I am playing Atta, a goblin whisperer.
And my name is DM Dan. I will be the games master on this adventure.
So come on in and marvel at our wonders. Make sure you see the beautiful views we have to offer, and don't mind the ghosts. They're friendly, really. Grab yourselves a seat and make yourselves welcome in the city of Elysia.
Hello, and welcome back to Explorers of Elsewhere's Elysia Rising campaign. Hi, I'm DM Dan, and I'm joined by these 5 incredulous beings.
Wait, 5?
Is that the word you're looking for? Incredulous?
Maybe.
Oh yeah, there is 5.
Yes, Meg, there are 5 of you.
I know math. We are halfway through some downtime. Some stuff and things has happened. The crew is supercharged. You lot are supercharged. You've got some new people.
Tier 2, baby.
You're now. You will soon to be tier 2. Yes, everything's on the up. You're stamping and making a name. You still don't have a name for your gang. But I'm sure we'll figure that out some
Algernon's Angels. Sorry.
Algernon's Angels.
Well, I suppose that's prudent now, given that you're wanted people. But yeah. So let's crash straight into the actual downtime bits. Let's start with looking on my screen. Atta. What is downtime activity 1?
Downtime activity 1. Reduce some of this stress, please.
How are you doing so?
I think Atta's going to be spending time, as much as kind of seems tolerable with like Tavarien and the other ghosts, and kind of fine-tuning how we speak to ghosts.
Okay.
And also that kind of research that she was doing about how to safely release ghosts back and not utilize them.
Okay. That sounds very Atta. Roll them bones. It will be a 1 dice. Reduce stress. You are currently on 7. So yeah, 2 dice on the left.
An indulge vice, and then I put a 1 in the...
7.
A 7?
So, oh yeah, so 1 dice, indulge vice, and stress 7. Yeah.
Stress 7. Right, 1 dice. Indulge vice, stress 7. There.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
That's
take
pretty
it.
nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
I'll take it.
All the way down to 2. Okay, very, very good. What is your second downtime? So you're on 2 stress. I would. You're only 1 pip away from leveling up some insight skill. You are still soul drained.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to kind of investigate some of this crown stuff, but I don't know. Is it possible to get healed in like a single downtime? I don't know whether it really is. It depends.
You could get if the healer were to roll a crit, that would be all 4 squares, like all 4 segments of your heal clock.
Maybe we
1,
should
2,
do
3,
some.
crit 4.
Maybe we should do some. Training gives you 2 pips or 1 pip.
1 other, unless it's prowess, because you have a because you're smugglers. You have training prowess gives you 2.
Algie, would you really like to know what this crown is about?
I'd very much like to know what this crown is about, Asa. Yes, please.
Okay, I will spend my second.
Ookie spooky stuff.
I will do my ookie spooky stuff. I'm going to try and figure out what this crown is about, how it functions, what it's connected to, any information of which may be useful.
Okay. We called this a project. It's not a long-term project or a short-term, but yeah, how are you going about doing it? Where are you researching, etc.?
With the help of very unhelpful Wizard Orb.
Yeah.
Who is not.
He's doing his best.
He is doing his best, and to be fair, we've learned more than without him. You know what I mean?
He's so old. He's so old.
Yeah, he's so old. He's so old. I think I don't know whether we established whether there are any like public libraries, but like anything to do with like any sort of information to do with the sorry, I've forgotten the name of the ruler. So House
Antler.
Antler, yeah. Kind of cross-referencing any sort of information, and I guess like more like whether there has been anything seen, like any powers as such, like arcanish powers. But I think Atta's probably mostly going to be looking at whether the crown taps into the veil. So it's more like testing, is this something to do with the veil? Is this something to do? So I'd like to roll. Well, attune and study are the same for me right now. So
I would argue, I guess, study if you want like academia focused knowledge, attune if you want arcana focused knowledge.
I really want to find out if it's got some kind of arcana related power, like some kind of magical related power.
So yeah, that'd be an attune. What I will go ahead and say is fundamentally this is a gather information. Okay. So if you on the left hand side again, gather information, 2 dice, -1 for your attune because of your soul drain.
Yep.
And then we'll see what comes out.
You can't push yourself for gather information, can you?
You can.
Do I really want
if
to
you so
bump up
wish.
all this stress? I just got rid of all this stress, and we're going to probably have a real stressful job, so let's not. Let's just roll.
Nice.
Oh, okay, sure.
Hey, you get exceptional details. The information is complete, and follow-up questions may expand into related areas. So, you're trying to find out what kind of magical properties this has, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
The crown itself is a bit of a diadem, circlet kind of tiara type thing. The metallic parts of it, so they're almost like a rosish gold with this kind of winding silver platinum style banding around it. Apart from being very expensive and exquisitely made, they hold no magical properties. What does, however, are the 3 so the large kind of round ruby on the center that would kind of go over the middle of the forehead, and the 2 kind of rose quartz style gems either side of it. You notice that these gems seem to you put them Does Atta at any point put this crown on?
I mean, as long as Algernon has not said any that I can't, or shouldn't. Yeah.
I think he's just left it all up to you.
Fabulous. Then yes, she absolutely does. It's the first thing she does. No.
So, when you place the crown on, suddenly the world itself almost feels like it's in sharper focus. The colours are more saturated. Your thoughts are much more kind of streamlined, a lot clearer. And that kind of emptiness that you feel, that you've been feeling ever since you were attacked by the rogue spirit when you're helping the Hollow, it almost feels like that kind of hole in you is being filled. It feels as if it's almost amplifying your natural kind of innate magical power. But as you wear it, it feels like there's this kind of anxious gnawing, this feeling of anxiety that kind of emanates from the crown throughout your body, like it wants to do something, or it wants to be somewhere. It feels lost. It feels like it's trying to return to somewhere. But there's no kind of real feeling of direction. It's just this panicked feeling of like homesickness. You can ask questions that expand to related areas or reveal more than you hope for. So have you got any follow-up questions? And we'll throw it open to everyone else as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Etta would be excited to tell whoever would come and listen to Ramble. Maybe not Musto for this one, but I don't know. Do we want to invite Musto? No. I suppose the one question that Atta has is if she thinks very hard whilst wearing it, or like tapping into it, of the concept of Elysia's heart, does the direction become, or does something happen?
The feeling of anxiety softens somewhat.
Okay.
The more that you kind of close your eyes and think of this concept, like you could almost kind of blocking out your sensory readings of your surroundings as you scrunch your eyes and concentrate harder and harder. You hear a beating in your head.
I would love to see what happens if Algernon puts it on.
What happens if Algernon puts it on? Yeah.
Well, we will see what happens when Algernon puts it on, when Algernon puts it on.
Okay.
Is there anything else that you're looking to ask? We'll give you one more question.
I was wondering if the ruby at the center is related at all to the red crystals that we've been seeing in Elysia.
Algernon, you would have, from your experience with the Foreign Service, like traveling elsewhere before you were trapped in Elysia during the eschaton, you saw, like, mana crystals are somewhat commonplace. They're rare. No, not commonplace. They're rare, but the presence of them is, it's not super out of the ordinary. You've seen like mages with mana crystals adorning their staves. During the war, you would have seen battalions of soldiers armed with mana crystal firearms. And like the reason for their sort of like somewhat rarity is the skill needed to craft and hone a mana crystal into a usable, stable form. But during the War of the Heavens, you saw some of the result of the rampant arcane magic. These sharp, jagged, kind of crystalline structures that would like sprout in areas of high intensity magic, seemingly kind of changing things that were exposed to too much mana. And whilst the red mana crystal, the red gem in the crown of Antalir is quite clearly like a crafted mana gem, what's jutting out the vine seems much more like the chaotic, arcane, corrupted style, which in itself begs the question, where is that coming from? Why are these vines encrusted with these mana, with this, corrupting mana structure? Maybe it's a trick of the light. The hues of the two gems look similar, but whether or not that's like a coincidence or not, it's hard to tell. But at its very base, it's like they aren't entirely the same. One was manufactured, one seems natural. So, with that, Atta, I believe at this point, Errol is immediately about to jump on a plane and fly to the other side of the world.
I'm already on a plane. It's just a very Taylor Swift style. I have my prep. No, yes, I will be heading off imminently.
In which case, we will wave you goodbye.
Bye, Errol.
Bye.
Bon voyage.
Wait. Bye. No, I didn't do it very well. That was my knees are too old.
Visual gag for anyone listening to the podcast version.
I'll take the elevator. Okay, there we go. Bye.
Okay, very good. Next up on the downtimes, who wants to go next? Who fancies going next? Not you, Algernon. Not you.
Not you. You're not allowed.
Poor JC.
Let's shall we say Meg? Let's go down to the bottom. Meg.
Oh, hello.
Hello. What's Frieda doing for her first downtime?
Oh, well, it's pretty boring. It's pretty much the same as I did last time, but Frieda is very stressed and very hurt.
The same thing we do every downtime, Pinky.
So, Frieda's going to go and beg some healing from anywhere she can. Maybe Jocasta, if Jocasta's feeling particularly generous.
Can we not use Lorenzo? Have we not got him yet?
I know Dan said that potentially that won't come into effect till next time.
Fine.
Or are you going to be really nice?
Maybe you calling him is what brings Lorenzo in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say I've Frieda goes to Jocasta and asks for some healing, and Jocasta, fed up of using up all of her bandage stock to patch this silly Wolfkin woman up, tells her to bugger off, but she does know someone who is looking for some long-term work.
Okay. In which case, it's like a private clinic of sorts in Duskland. And you notice that when you enter, all the candles that are lighting the room burn with a somewhat bright blue flame, which gives the interior this kind of eerie, cold kind of feeling. The keeper is a rather small keeper by keeper standards, only about 6'8", 6'9", but without kind of looking to you, he gestures to this like lounging bed, and like it's scribbling away at something in a diary, and then without looking at you, he says, "Nim."
And Frieda panics and just goes, Frieda?
Good, that is the name I was looking for. Please take a seat.
Right. Thank you.
He turns in the chair that he's sat on, and sort of like regards you with this pair of kind of half-moon spectacles balanced on the end of his nose. And he sort of leans back and crosses his kind of third legs, and you see his tail sort of like still and then swishing from one side to another in a very abrupt manner. What seems to be the problem?
Frieda sort of gestures. And sort of lifts up her shirt and gestures again.
The keeper nods, and then he he hums to himself, turns around in his seat and begins kind of scribbling away furiously in whatever kind of book he's scribbling in, and he leaves you kind of sat there in silence for a good minute and a half. Every so often he'll stop and he'll turn, and he turns to look at you over his shoulder and then returns to his little diary.
I mean, usually Jocasta just sticks some cream and some bandages on it. There's never been this much writing before. What are you saying in that little notebook of yours?
Well, that, Frieda, is why you are looking the way you are looking. No. And he stands and sort of like you see him kind of browsing some of the shelves, and he starts kind of pulling like dried leaves. There's little jars of what appear to be kind of herbal reagents of some sort, which is quite fascinating to see given that you're 2 years into Elysia being lost, and there's not very much of them left, but he's seemingly using some of these sparingly. But he begins adding them to a pestle, begins grinding them up, and you then notice him pull a drawer open on his desk, and he produces what appears to be a small crystal shard of an aqua green crystal shard, and he drops that into the pestle and then grinds that up as well. You see him adding a solution to it. You see him pour the powder into a small flask, and then he adds some solution. He corks it and then begins shaking it, and then looks back to you whilst he's shaking this potion flask. Do you imagine that you're going to be seeing a lot of more of this action?
I mean, it's occupational hazard, shall we say?
I either work on down payment or retainer.
What's the difference?
Very good. If you give me an address, and I will set up shop. If you have any maladies going forward, then I can see what I can do. I will be on. I will work alongside you. I will operate my business from your premises as well. It will be a symbiotic relationship which should serve us both.
Oh, right.
And he puts a hand out to shake it while still shaking this potion vial.
Frieda, absolutely flummoxed, just shakes his hand and it's like, I mean, we've got great premises. You can even have your own room. Yeah. That. Oh my God, that'd be amazing. Yeah. It's,
he just stares at you.
What's your name again?
He stops and pushes the glasses up his nose. You know my name, he says, and he hands you. He hands you the vial, and the solution inside, the liquid inside, has turned a similar kind of aqua green to the color of the shard that was put in it. You can drink it all at once, or you can drink it bit by bit. It matters not whether you want short-term or long-term healing.
All right. Is it better over ice, or should I heat it up?
He looks to you and And then he turns in his chair and begins scribbling in his diary. Unless there is nothing else, you are done.
All right. Do you want me to give you our address?
I know it.
Okay. Thank you.
He doesn't respond. Instead, he just like, flicks his fingers to gesture you out.
Frieda just sort of walks out, looking quite confused. But as soon as she gets out the door, she goes, I suppose. What's the worst that could happen? And she uncorks the bottle and just whoop in one.
Okay. Let us hope that he hasn't beefed this roll.
Oh boy!
Oh, no,
that would be awkward.
Oh, 5. Oh,
nearly.
Okay, a 5. So that is 2 segments. When you feel your healing clock, reduce each instance of harm on your sheet by 1 level.
Brilliant.
So you drink the potion and like you feel it scratch, and it must be the shark. It's like drinking pulverized glass, but you feel it scratching down your pipes down into your gut, and you cough slightly. And then suddenly you feel this wave of like euphoria travel through you. And unbeknownst to you, but as you make your way back to the others, like your eyes are massive. But also unbeknownst to you, the slash on your abdomen heals over. And the deep cut to your face reduces to level 1.
So it's more like just a cut to the face.
So shallow cheek scar, like
nice.
Cut. And we finish your clock.
Amazing.
And Frieda feels so great that she's going to go punch some stuff to celebrate.
If you have any more segments to mark, they roll over. So actually,
so one over.
segment.
Yes.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Lorenzo's a bloody legend.
Okay, right. Who's that stupid woman who threw the bomb and then buggered it up last time?
Fiends.
Fiend, yeah. She's out. Lorenzo's in.
Well, no,
now
she
you've got
can
room
stay.
for all 3 of them.
All 3 of them.
Yeah, but still. in the shit tier list, you know, like the end's right down here, and Lorenzo is top.
Lorenzo's Bay.
Top dog.
Has he replaced Roth? We'll see. What is Frieda's second downtime?
Yeah, she's elated, so she's gonna go punch some shit and indulge in that. Right. What better to celebrate healing than going and hurting other people?
Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds good. So 2 dice on the left. You are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You are 8 stress. This is a 0 dice indulgence.
Hey, look at that!
That's nice.
A 5. That's very good.
So a 5. That will reduce you down to 3 stress.
Oh,
wow!
Yes.
That was very good.
Okay, and that is Frieda ticked off. We're gonna switch up and go to Magpie.
Hello.
What's Magpie's first?
Magpie's first order of business is a slightly risky indulge vice because she's on 5 stress and she gets 2 dice for this. So I do not want any of my crit 6 nonsense going on here.
Okay. What?
But I'm going to take the risk and try it.
What is it this time?
She's nicking another brooch or something from Mum to take to the orphanage. She's on her bullshit.
Okay.
I'm on 5.
4 I've got you as.
Really? Oh, that's not good. I thought I was on... Oh, you're right, I'm on 4. That calls everything into question, doesn't it? It looks like more on my sheet, but no, it must be 4. What do you guys reckon? It's too risky? Feels quite risky.
Might be.
There's only
The orphanage might explode.
There's only a 1 in 3 chance of overindulging.
Only a 1 in 3 chance. The problem is I don't like starting a new mission with half my stress filled up. Don't feel good about that.
Not sure.
Come on.
Okay,
join the trauma crew.
The worst that can
You don't-
happen is
you
you
don't
get
get-
trauma.
You don't get trauma if you overindulge. That's not what happens.
No, but you
No,
do
we're
get
saying
trauma.
don't indulge and get
Yeah.
trauma next.
Yeah, just rack up your stress. It's
Well-
worked fine for Frieda so far.
As Errol pointed out, the next mission might be a bit ropey.
This is what I'm thinking. The next mission's probably going to be ropey, so I'm going to take the risk and indulge the stress. The worst that can happen is that I tap out of... I think that's the worst that can happen.
Oh no. Is Magpie going to get grounded?
I hope not.
So,
She better
a-
fucking not.
2 dice indulge,
2 dice
vice,
indulge.
and
Yeah.
you have 4 stress.
Let's roll it. Boom! 3! Down to 1. Nailed it. Stuck the landing.
Okay, very good, very, very good. So that was your
fine.
indulgence. You successfully steal brooch and fence it off.
Yep.
What
The
is
idea.
what is your second?
I would like to reduce heat, and I would like to do it by being a lurk, and I'm going to attempt to the guy who remembered Frieda's face. I'm going to find out who that was by questioning Algernon, I think, 'cause he probably has the clearest memory of that night since he wasn't in a red haze like Frieda was. I'm going to attempt to sneak into either his lodgings or the guard station and plant some kind of evidence that discredits him. So like alcohol bottles or something that will make his testimony unusable. That
Okay.
Frieda was the name that he heard that night.
Okay. Which ability are you using?
I would like to use Prowl to do that.
Prowl. Okay. Roll me a prowl.
I'd love to. Okay, I'm just going to roll it. I've got 3 pips. I'm just going to hope I can roll better this time without pushing myself or anything. 'Cause I've got this lovely clear 1 stress bar. I don't want to undo all my good work. So let's just see. 5.
Ooh, not bad.
Not
Okay.
bad, but not brilliant either.
So a 5 is 2 segments, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So that will drop your heat down to 3. Okay.
Great. Thank
Very,
you.
very good. That is Magpie done. Khavren.
Hello.
Hello. What are you doing?
Before downtime starts, I wanted to say that I actually cleared one of my tracks. I cleared my resolve track.
Ooh.
So I popped a pip into a tune
Ooh. Everyone's getting on the attune train.
because I seem to come across quite a few mini ghosts. And I never have any attune to tackle them. So I thought I'll do that. So yes.
Very good. So yeah, +1 attune.
And like everyone else, I'm going to go and clear some stress.
Okay. How or who are you doing it?
I'm going to go back to the chandelier. I would like to see if my new boyfriend's there. So if Thorntham, if he is there, I'm going to see if his employees, the acrobats, are there, and ask them if he is round the back.
Sure.
If he's not, he will be in a minute.
Tell you what, roll the dice. So it'll be a 1 dice indulge. You have 6 stress, and then based on how well you do, I'll let you know.
1 dice, indulge vice, 6 stress. Go on, give me a nice 6. It'd be lovely. Oh, go on.
Ow.
Ow.
It would appear that Vorntham is entertaining another guest.
Rude. His loss.
You still manage to drink and swoon your way through some of the night, but that's 2 stress. What would your second downtime be?
I would like to do a long project. I would like to study the book of Melodani that I got, and I would like to study it in the room where Tavarian is.
Interesting. What's your end game?
I want to see if the being that I saw returns. So I'll have the spectre glasses with me as well.
Okay. Which ability are you using for this?
My emergent divinity. No. Oh, I don't know. I don't really have like a study or anything.
Unless you're using your newly acquired attune.
Yeah, I'll use my attune.
Okay, so is this more like you're incanting some of the rituals, some of the
Yeah, and if anything, any of it is in Draconic as well. I would like to use that.
Okay. So you're doing it in the room with Tavarien in the hopes that that mysterious tarot-shaped blob of light reappears.
Yes, please.
Roll them bones. I'm going to call this a controlled standard.
I'm not gonna push it because I can't. Because I need that stress for the next mission.
You could swap it to a risky greater for free.
Might do that then. I'm gonna put it to a risky greater.
Okay.
Great.
A 1 dice attune.
Let's go.
Yes!
Oh,
Look at that!
amazing.
Okay.
6. We love it.
Given that Meladani is the goddess of revelry, are there any kind of particular passages or lessons or in inverted commas rituals that you're focusing on? Are you hoping just the act of kind of going through it will draw tarot to you, or are you trying to invoke some particular emotion or sentiment in tarot or Tavarien or whatnot?
I want to see. I mean, the one reason why I'm in the room with Tavarien is that that's the last time I saw her anyway, when Khavren saw her. Yeah. And we don't now have access to where we last saw her in physical form, because obviously that's now surrounded by the guard, because that's where Songbird was hiding out.
Mm-hmm.
So
tell you what, I might jump in and help you here by saying perhaps it's because Meladani is the patron of revelry. Perhaps it is, for all intents and purposes, like a summoning spell. It's for kind of summoning the life of the party, gathering your friends, kind of instilling those thoughts of kind of companionships and mirth when amongst others. Effectively, getting everyone. It's pre-drinks. It's like the pre-drinks ritual.
Let's go for it.
So, some of the phrases are in Draconic, and the words kind of slide off your tongue in this very kind of luxurious way. It's almost like you can almost feel a sensation of silk gliding across the buds of your tongue as you utter these kind of intone these magical words. And as you complete this kind of ritual of companionship, you look to the doorway where you last saw Taro, and the doorway is dark. But when you turn back, sat in front of you is the outline of Tavarien. There's a look of kind of thanks on her face. And she looks around slightly confused before looking back to you, and I don't know what you've done, dear. But thank you. Thank you for... You're the one that found me, aren't you?
Yes.
I was so lonely. I don't know how long. I was just existing But I'm glad that you came to fetch me, and whatever it is that you just said, it was beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, I'm glad you thought so, Tavarian.
She looks around, and you notice that in these moments she just looks a bit more cognate than she did when you were kind of talking to her through the atagram. What is this place, dear? Where are we?
You're in Cadwallader Manor.
Cadwallader Manor. Oh, one of the noble, one of the Ace of our noble houses. Yes, I remember. Oh, are we? Have we been invited here? Is there a dinner?
No dinner, I'm afraid. But you're safe here.
She sits back, and you see her sort of like she's got her legs crossed at the ankles, and you notice she's almost bobbing her like hooves up and down, and she kind of like nods to herself at those words. Yes, I do feel safe. You have to excuse me, dear. My memory's gone a bit fuzzy. I remember Memorial Day, but I don't really remember anything that's happened. How long ago was that? Everything seems like a blur.
It was a few weeks ago. Afraid.
Oh. My memory fails me sometimes in my old age. But I must know what is happening in the city. I need to know where I need to divert my attentions. I need to know who to help first.
Well, do you know of your current predicament at the moment?
She looks at you confused. I'm not sure I follow, dear.
You're no longer of... Oh, how do I put this lightly? You're no longer of physical being. You're no longer alive. You're alive. But I've never had to do this before.
She sort of like swats a hand at you as if just like tell you off for being a cheeky scamp. But as she does, she frowns for a moment and then lifts her hand back up so it's in between you and her. And she slowly turns her hand over and over. Oh. That is curious, isn't it?
I'm so sorry. It was definitely felt by the whole city your passing.
She then looks to you and but you shouldn't be here then. It's not safe for you to be here if I'm one of them.
Well, obviously not. Unfortunately now we've had quite a few run-in with ghosts, and they've been a lot more vicious than you have right now. This is actually the first time I've had like a proper conversation with one.
Huh.
You're quite the unique specimen.
What was your name again, dear?
My name's Khavren.
Khavren. And she leans forward, and like you see her place her hands around yours, and whilst there's no contact, you feel like you can feel her touch. She looks at you with this imploring look and I want you to take me around the city. I want to see Elysia again. I need to see what's happening. And you have a kind soul, dear. I feel like you have a kind soul. So perhaps if I can't help the people, perhaps I can help you help them for me. Would you do that for me?
I think Khavren's going to feel quite overwhelmed with that request. But he's going to go, well, we'll give it a try. I don't know how we're going to get you outside, but I have a friend who might be able to help. I think she's currently sleeping.
She nods and... Thank you. Thank you, Khavren. And you watch as her outline begins to blur until it disperses into little motes of soul light, which then float back towards the orb, the ghost orb that she's contained within.
I know I shouldn't read Draconic, bloody hell.
So, enough of this emotional shit. Algernon, what's your first downtime?
I think I'm going to use our newly upgraded tier to acquire an asset.
Ooh. What asset are you hoping to acquire?
I think I will try and acquire a new source for foresight.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
What ability are you using and how are you using it?
So it's a special acquire asset role that uses our tier level.
Yes, big man. Yes.
But I will be consorting around using our new upgraded reputation and status as a burgeoning vice den to see if there's any of this special mineral compound that anybody in the city has their hands on.
Okay. So to acquire the asset, you roll your crew's tier. The result indicates the quality of the asset you get. Okay. So 2 dice. You can spend coin to raise the... Oh, okay, you forgot my coin. Never mind. If you acquire the same asset again, you get +1 dice. Okay. Alchemicals, poison bombs, highly restricted. When you acquire one of these items, you take 2 heat. So, we'll see what happens. Aha.
Ooh.
So, a bad result. Okay, so, sorry, where was it you were looking for? Like, how are you trying to source it out?
Just anyone who I've heard in the last 2 years is dealing with Arcana.
Sure. In which case, yeah, you follow up a lead, let's say Old Town. So you head to Old Town to meet with this new dealer. It's a Lorivar whose personal presentation and the clothes that they wear do not match. He himself is quite dirty and a bit scabby, but the clothes he wears are quite rich and slightly ill-fitted. He sort of like sees you and he like looks around and then sort of like shuffles over to you and Algernon, he says.
Do I know this person's name?
This is Ilindar Cranarin. Boop. In the chat there. His hair is a bit patchy in places. Like he's had it close shaved in certain points, but the rest, some of it is kind of growing out. There's distinct kind of stubble, and there's a peculiar kind of acrid smell coming off him.
You're Algernon, yeah?
You must be Cranarin.
Yeah, that's me.
I found you at the bottom of my pocketbook.
I'm really glad that you found me. So, yeah, I hear you. You're looking for the shit, yeah?
Listen, I'm not here to be messed around.
No messing around. No. I only have the finest stuff. yeah, if you want to go on a trip, I can send you on a trip.
There's a particular arcane mineral that I've been using, and I've been short of it for some time. It's mined across the continent from where Elysia used to be. Gives the user particular precognitive ability to look into the future. Do you know what I'm talking about, or don't you?
You're looking for some brain buzz. That's what it sounds like you're looking for. Now, what I found is that a really, really good alternative to brain buzz is actually like harvest it. You like harvest it. You dry out like eel mucus. You make that into a cell, and that really, really works.
I just require the raw mineral, please. Do you have any?
Sure. Let me hang on.
And he begins like rifling through his like coat pockets. And like as you're looking at him, and I can only assume pinching the bridge of your nose, you notice he just like freezes, and like he's looking over your shoulder. He looks to you and.
Nah, I knew this was a setup.
He says, and he turns and scarpers. Like, he just breaks into a run and sprints down the street that you're stood on. And at the other end of the street, where clearly he noticed something, you turn and see the silhouette of what appears to be a woman with a slight purple reflective sheen off the round lenses of the glasses she's wearing. And she places a package on a nearby barrel that's at the back of the back of this house. And with a tilt of her head, she turns and disappears around the corner of the end of the street.
I'm gonna go look at that package.
It is entitled to Mr. A. Cadwallader, and it contains a single half vial of foresight.
Algernon just immediately ingests it for my second downtime activity, which is to clear some stress.
Sure. So yeah, it's certainly not enough to like get you over the bump, but it's a half measure for sure. So if you're clearing indulgence, you've got 7 stress. This will be a 2 dicer.
Ooh.
5.
5's pretty good.
It hits just right.
Okay. And as you like hurriedly like, is it something you breathe? Is it a gas you breathe in? Like, is it the fumes you breathe in, or do you drink it? Or because I'm imagining it to be like
in
photo curing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think she knows the way I like to take it.
Okay. You frantically scrabble to pour the foresight into your eye, and like you feel the sting, and you like begin to blink it away, and sort of like when you come to, and you can feel the world kind of rippling and reverberating around as it begins to kick in. You get that relief as you feel like the weight come off your shoulders, but it stops short of kind of throwing you into the full sort of like the vision quest that you normally go on, where you're able to sort of like see into the lives of all the people of Elysia. It seemingly stops dead, and like at the end of the street, not more than a few feet from you, you just see this group of orphans with the orphan troop leader just like stood looking at you, and like this one girl's pointing and going, "What's he doing, matron?" And like this Laravel is just like shooing them off. As you sort of like your eyes are bloodshot from the foresight, but as you peer back in the envelope, in the package, you see a small note that says, when you're ready for the truth, seek me out.
Ooh.
So, with that in mind, that's everyone's downtime done, I believe.
Yay! We did it.
Okay. Where are you all convening after your various nightly activities? Are you meeting like the night of your downtimes, or the morning after, or what?
Well, we know that prison stuff's happening tomorrow, so it's pretty urgent.
Vector?
Yeah, I reckon
Yeah.
Spectre.
Yeah.
Okay. In which case, yeah, we find you in the Are you in the speakeasy or the like the new the secret area, like the back rooms, if you will?
Yeah.
I imagine there's another bookcase that opens to reveal another speakeasy. Yeah, are you kind of lording it up in this new kind of area that Eric's kitted out for you?
Yeah, why not?
Sure. In which case, it's basically behind the bar, and you're able to see who's in the speakeasy through the one-way mirror that part of the bar, like behind Eric when he's serving, is made of. So you're able to see the patrons of the speakeasy come and go, kind of some of them doing their dealings, all within this kind of private VIP area, if you will. And yeah, what's on everyone's minds? Musto's told you that the job is the prison break job that he's planned out, because he's not had a chance to tell anyone else that the plan's off. Although some people might be thinking the plan's off because Musto's gone. Yeah, what is the plan? What's on everyone's minds?
I think Algernon is thinking about the plan for tomorrow. He's probably already had a chat with Musto, which we'll find out about as part of the gathering information for next time.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
Khavren is probably just thinking about the situation he's just had with Tavarian and trying to mull this over.
Are you sharing it with your companions? What's happened?
Not yet. I think he can. I think he can see that there's some tensions, and he knows that there's something big happening tomorrow. So he's probably going like, let's hold off for now.
Sure. How about Magpie? What's going through her mind?
I think Magpie's got quite a lot on her mind. She probably seems quite quiet. This certainly isn't a place where she would want to talk about the kind of stuff that's going on in her mind right now. I think she's probably just focused on tomorrow with everyone else.
Frieda?
Frieda, for first time in quite a long time, is actually in really good spirits. She's feeling better. She's probably like chattering loudly and maybe slightly with a lack of awareness for the sort of somber tone in the room, quite jovially about how great she feels and how she had a really good session in the rings and how I think that last job went so well, I think we absolutely smashed it, and just gabbling on a little bit.
Sure.
For God's sakes, Frieda, could you just be quiet for 2 seconds, please?
All right. Are you okay? I feel like you might have something to say to me. You've been avoiding me for the past week.
The two of you think back to Khavren's dagger-filled look in the library of Castle Antelir.
Khavren's going to take a deep breath, and he is going to point to your scar, and he's going to say, "Where did you get that?"
Right. I got it in a fight I get in fights a lot. And you've noticed Frieda's just immediately gone on the defensive, and that sort of, half-drunk smirk's been wiped from her face, and she leans back and has kind of got her arms tightly crossed against her.
I can tell you're not lying, but I can also tell you're not telling the whole truth. Now tell us, Frieda, where did that come from?
I thought... it doesn't matter now.
It does matter now, Frieda. Because that's not something you get in your fighting pits. Is this the kindling?
Sort of.
Sort of. That doesn't answer it. Was that the kindling?
Yes. All right, it was. I was trying to get close to them. I thought that if I got close to them, I could find out what they were doing. Quite honestly, that bullshit that happened in the keep, it scared me, all right? It scared me. That was that fire that just raged with no discernible source. What that thing did to Algarve, I started hearing whispers. I started hearing whispers in the fighting pits about angry young people joining this cause, joining this group called the Kindling, and I'd like to say that I was getting close to them just for information, just as part of the job, but quite honestly, I kind of get it. I sympathized, I empathized with how they must have felt, because I mean, by gods, I've been an angry youth in my time too, and I thought I could use that. I honestly did. My intentions were good. I wanted to get close. I wanted to find out. I wanted to see if I could change things.
We've all got our crosses to bear with this damn city and this shit that we're in now. But God's hell, don't go and do things by yourself. You have us. We're here to look out for each other. We've all we've got. You're all I've got.
I know, and that's why I just wanted to protect you all.
You don't have to do that by yourself.
I know that now. I nearly did some really reckless shit last night, and I know that I can't do this by myself, and I mean, bloody hell, I've paid the price. I didn't realize that this was... I'm sorry. I don't want to lose any of you. I mean, you're as close to a family as I've ever had.
Khavren's gonna exhale, and he's gonna smirk, and he's gonna push you over a drink. See. Well, it took a while to get that out of you, but just don't pull that shit again, alright?
I know. We've all had to do stupid shit, haven't we?
We've all done some stupid shit. I think I've got something to tell the four of you, by the way. I had a very nice conversation with Tavarien earlier on. Thoughts?
From across the room, like the back room, the opposite corner, Fiends rocks forward in her seat and... Are you gonna sell her to the Hollow? Because like you're doing all that stuff with the Hollow and like selling all the goats to them and stuff, right?
Frieda immediately spits out her drink. What?
Oh.
That's a different deal.
Fiend's eyes just flick from one side of the room to the other, and then she.
A minute.
Who invited her?
I'm in doing deals with the Hollow.
She sits back and whispers to Roth. I think I've messed up, Roth. I think I messed it.
Oh boy.
He's going to stand outside and think of what you've just done.
Perhaps you should practice your throwing arm.
Okay, Mr. Cabolita, she says. She gets up and slinks out.
I tell you what, do you know what? I'm gonna let this one slide. I'm gonna let this one slide. I think at this point we'll call it even. As we've both just said, we've all done some stupid shit, but there will be no way we're selling anything to the Hollow. No way are we that desperate.
We just did a little tit-for-tat job for them, same as we did for the High Priestess.
Ugh, and I hate
They were
every minute
on
of
our
that.
doorstep. It's all
Bloody-
part of the plan, Frieda.
Yes, I know, but oh, it's the worst sometimes.
You're more than welcome to go and pick mushrooms in Waterside.
Ugh. No. And she takes another drink.
Roth, has been quietly brooding in the corner, arms crossed. And then he, he's still a bit kind of head and hands after Fiend's little gaff just there. But he slides off the chair, off his stool, and he approaches the four of you, and he looks at you, Khavren, and then he looks at you, Frieda, and
Come on. Let me get you a drink.
he says, and he kind of nods his head to the secret door back into the main speakeasy.
Thanks, Ruth.
Bye.
I think some button-cup shots will sort you right out.
Sure.
As he ushers the two of you out, he glances back over his shoulder at you, Magpie, raises an eyebrow, and then closes the secret door behind you, just leaving you and Algernon on your own.
Rose very good at reading the room.
Not like that stupid Fiends.
Fiends. Magpie just sort of looks over at Algernon and reaches into her bag and says, what do you think the Spectres bring your own policy is like? And she pulls out a bottle that you probably recognise. And she says, Old Moots number 5 from my family cellar. Only 15 bottles left of it in all of Elysia. 14 after tonight, I think.
Well, let's crack it open then, Magpie.
And she'll kind of open it up and pour glasses for both of them.
Something you want to get off your chest?
I was just wondering how you're doing. Quite big news that you've had recently.
Ah, yes, my family tree growing a few more leaves. Very interesting.
How does it feel? Thinking you might have a family member you have no memory.
Honestly, I'm not quite sure how that's supposed to feel. I was never attached to my family. I wasn't particularly raised by my parents. I was raised by the wet nurse and the au pair, and whichever staff members could tolerate the cruelty of that place. Either this mysterious letter D was being raised in some far corner of the manor, which I was not permitted to, or I guess the only other reasonable theory is that they are some sort of alternate universe version of myself that slipped into this reality. Either one is likely as possible. Oh, you haven't thought about it?
I can't say I had, no. Intriguing. Magpie just takes a drink.
But you'll be happy to know that I found a source for my foresight again. limited supply, but it should keep me in motion.
Good. Seems strange to be thinking about the future, doesn't it? The way all this is going. The relentless decay of Elysia.
Quite, I feel like I've been seeing multiple versions of the future for several years now. And it all seems to be coming together, like those vines growing over Bell Tower. Gently, where we might be heading tomorrow if Mustard's intelligence brings us any joy.
You've always been able to see the bigger picture, haven't you, Algernon? I admire that in you.
The thing about the bigger picture, Magpie, is that you only need to see half. The rest of it seems to fall into place.
I wish I had your faith in things. You know, I thought that Tavarien was going to save the city. She held it all together. But now she's gone and it's all fractured. Everybody seems to think they have a plan for saving Elysia, don't they? Fire, evolution, arcane magic, the will of the god. At this rate, the city's going to be torn apart before the ghosts even get to us.
It's a worry, yes. I was one of the people banking on Tavarien to replace Algarve's Iron Fist with a more subtler one. Of course, if we do survive all this, perhaps Elysia will re-emerge in its correct place. It will require some leadership going forward.
You think so? Think we'll emerge from the stars, back where we found ourselves originally? So hopeful.
That's where this plan is all happening, if I'm right. And if I'm wrong, then what's the use of even thinking about it?
Well, quite. You know, when Elysia was plunged into the void 2 years ago, my father was away in the war. And my mother kept saying, "We've been saved. Aya has saved us." But then I thought, if we've been saved, what about father? Was he forsaken? But then I can't help but feel that maybe the forsaken ones are us. I hope you're right, Algernon. I really do.
I've never quite subscribed to the idea that we are the last remnants of elsewhere and civilization. That somehow the rest of the world has been forsaken and we saved. Doesn't quite make sense with what we see around us. And to the magician's dove, is it not the audience who has disappeared?
I suppose it is. I suppose we just have to wait for our time to fly out of the hat.
Wait for the magic word.
Well, cheers to that.
May it come together like a cryptic crossword clue.
As the two of you clink your shot glasses filled with Old Moot 15 together. Elsewhere.
Ooh, here we go.
The sound of activity fills the vaulted room as clerics, priests, initiates don their armor and choose their weapons, all under the droning chanting of the iron hymns sung from the books of scripture. And High Priestess Lukragi looks over her gathered irons and the allied shield bearers with a look of grim determination on her face. Surrounded by scented silks, a red-scaled dragon sense with a serpentine body ponders over a wooden manifestation of Elysia laid out before him like a battle map. And as one of his attendants whispers something in his ear, he begins moving the pieces, showing the forces as they are arrayed, before looking over his half-moon spectacle glasses to a somewhat more haggard-looking, blonde-haired Lorivar woman with fire and fury in her eyes. In a dank, dark sewer, the sounds of dripping water and condensation mix with panicked, excited breathing and the gentle thrum of arcane magic pouring in to a singular point. And with shaking hands and jubilant glee, the figure in front of Umi just begins to move slightly, and a bluish hue fills the glass-like faceplate as the statuesque monstrosity stands upright and looks down at New Hands. Within the grounds of Bell Tower Keep, a Sanguivar man who once found himself working among a small noble house glances skywards to see the cage-like vine structures pierced with red crystals that share his eye colour. As Samuel looks to the other inmates of Bell Tower, and then to the fearful looks of the prison guards. From a rooftop in Duskland, the slight jingle of golden jewellery clatters in the wind as an Ilnashi assassin watches the entrance of the spectre very, very closely. A dark-skinned noble Sanguivar lady turns the glowing cube in her arcane prosthesis arm, and as the light illuminates under her touch and builds in intensity, she smiles as she glances up to the crest of House Antalir that adorns her wall. "Soon, Mother," she says. And as they all prepare for the morning to come, we will call it there.
Oh boy.
Woo!
Congratulations, everyone, on completing episode 14. Congratulations indeed. So we have arrived at the Act 2 finale, and I mean, it's going to be a bit quiet, really. It's going to be the beach episode next time.
Sure it is. Sure it is.
Well, I'm excited for what's due to happen. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you're all excited as well. If you're excited, make sure to hit the like button and comment down below on of all of those people, who do you think have got the greatest odds of a happy ending? And to see if you're correct in your assumptions, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications when we're releasing new content. Loads of it coming out. We wouldn't want you to miss it. That would make us all collectively sad. Look how sad our faces are. There we go. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for playing. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.